And if they were happy, I was happy, I got paid. And I doubled a lot of actors, Peter O'Toole for 6 years, and Barry Bostwick, Robert Genty on a lot of his stuff, and Larry, all these guys. And it goes on and on of the number of people. If you go on my resume, jamesbwinburn.com, you'll see all the guys I doubled. And all the people that gave me the energy to continue in the business for almost 30 years.
I bet there's some folks here that would watch Halloween with you. Right? Does anyone have any copies of Halloween?
A few.
I mean...
Dave, I know you and Scout.
We're like a clique of our own, like a cool crowd clique that maybe wasn't seen as the cool crowd from other people, but we know we are. So we just kind of embrace it and encourage it and want to kind of just hang out.
And I was a big fan of Dr. Drew. I did a couple of episodes for him, but I love that. That's what I love to listen to. And I was like, they don't have like that.
Love lines, yeah.
Love lines, So I was like, we are still learning too. I mean, we're learning while we're doing the podcast from you guys submitting questions and your stories. I mean, we're constantly, it's just like kind of vice versa, back and forth.
And if we can give you all some sex advice.
Yeah. Little girl.
Earmuffs.
I'm a horror fan. What's that?
What is that? Horror and sex kind of go hand in hand.
Just something fun for you guys to get to know us, for who we really are on a different level.
And us to get to know you guys.
Yeah,
we got to know y'all. It's good. It's fun.
Yeah. About the getting to know everyone, being who you guys are, and beautiful, and your pictures that are out there, and your Instagrams and everything. Do you get a lot of things that you don't want to know about people? A lot of pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
They get vetted a little on my end.
For 10 weeks in the swamps down in Florida, and I got to tell you, that was a trip. And you ever been in the swamps with Florida?
Yep.
Don't.
Yep.
But it was exciting. They did it was a budget show for Disney. I don't know when it's going to be released or when it was, but anyway, that was the last major flick that I really did. I got called by Disney to come and double a well-known personality who did Starfighters and all this stuff. And I drove the limousine picking up the kids on the title stuff because he couldn't drive. And that was the last film that I worked in. And I'm mostly at home on my ranch, home on the range, in the high desert of Los Angeles, where the heat is 115 degrees and the bugs are too big. But working on the ranch and keeping that up, and a lot of people from the industry come up and visit me, and we go swimming and all that stuff. And we discuss their situation, and I would help them with my equipment and stuff like that. But I'm pretty much retired. I won't give you my age. I'm less than 100. But, a lot of people. In fact, I'll give you an example. Last week, Barry Bostwick called me, and he wondered how I was doing. And I told him I'm waiting for him to get the next job. And people like that, and the industry was very good to me. You couldn't find a better group of people to work for all around the world. And so I learned a lot, and I made a lot of friends. I made a lot of enemies too. And when we did Masada in Israel, I made a lot of enemies over there, and because everything was wrong, and I tried to correct it, and the attitude wasn't too good. But we got it done, and Peter and I came back to California, and we finished up the shots in California. But it's an interesting career. These ladies here are doing wonderful stuff, and they're building their career or have a career. And there's a lot of people in the industry that are doing the same thing. And there's a lot of independent filmmakers that are making these films with new actors and new people, new production people that are doing creative work. How they get the distribution, that's another story. Because that's the hardest part today is distribution. And so if I bored you, we all go through that's me. I'm not doing anything. I got too many stuff at the
You're
ranch.
living your best life.
Yeah, seriously.
And I got Screen Actors Guild always on me too. Sitting all those residual checks.
For a penny.
Yeah, literally.
My brother told me to call this number. We were like, you're on
Live here right now. Yeah, maybe we'll get the kinks and bugs and be able to do that because I do really like hearing the voice or
Yeah.
seeing the face or whatever. So we're
You should call them like a day before and.
Yeah.
yeah. Someone should just filter out.
Yeah.
Pre-screen them.
Yeah.
Well, I could chat with you guys all day, but I'm sure everybody here has questions. But I wanted to know, like I know Scott, you have stuff in like post-production right now. So I wanted to know what you guys have up next to make sure that's covered before we get the general questions here.
Yeah.
What's going on the line?
Well, I am a part of the Texas Chainsaw video game that is coming out next year. Kane Hodder is a part of. They're gonna announce who I play next month, but I'm sure if you guys have seen the trailer, you guys were able to pinpoint who the hell I am. Because I feel like my scream, you'd like know my scream.
Yeah.
I know your scream.
Yeah.
It's like so if you watch the trailer, you can kind of know who I am. I just did a movie, which our next guest, I guess we should
Yeah,
announce
yeah,
it.
Tuesday.
Chrissy Metz, she's from This Is Us. I just did a movie with her, which is like a creature Christmas horror film. It's really, really cool. So that'll go to theaters next year. And then I'm working on this top secret Netflix series right now. And it's based off of a video game, and that's all I can say right now. That's what I'm working on right now. And then,
I don't even know what that is.
I told you, you know what
You heard it here first.
Talk scary to me.
Yes, of course.
And then I pitched to her the other day, I was like, we should do a movie. Like, we should write a movie and be in a movie together. So
And it
we're
was
gonna
weird
do that.
because I had just like taken it up and woke up and was thinking about this crazy idea about this movie that I wanted to do and who I would do it with. And she literally messaged me that, and I had to call her. I was like, seriously, my hair's standing up in my arms. She was just literally putting the script together in my brain, and she called. Or messaged and was like, we have to do this. So it obviously is serendipitous if we probably need to do something together.
Yeah.
Let's just add
We
that to the
produce
list.
stuff too, so. could
Yeah,
happen.
I mean, we could do it, it's just the time,
timing,
you know,
yeah,
to
timing.
do it right and actually get it done. We're like a million ideas between
Yeah,
the two
we
of us.
constantly want to do different things all the time. Maybe that's why we're friends.
Yeah. There's that creative side.
Yeah.
So I've done a bunch of stuff last year and the year before, but it hasn't made its way out yet, so I'm thinking like maybe this year that everything will come out at once. I know for sure there's a movie coming out probably first called Natty Knox that I did with the director of Halloween 4, Dwight Little, wrote and directed this. So it was my first time working with him again in 30-something years, which was really cool. And it's myself and Robert Englund and Bill Moseley. And it does leave it open for others to follow if it gets well received. And it's so good. And I play a mom of teenagers, which I wanted to do for a while. I actually played my age, and which is lovely. Dwight
Crazy. It's such an honor to be able to hold that, and I do. I love you guys, and the fan base is so rad, and yeah, it's an incredible experience since I was 17. And it keeps on going, I love it.
Yes, it definitely keeps on going.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Halloween ends. I'm like, Halloween's not ending. Maybe that story's ending, but let's see where they go with the next one. Yeah, I mean, it's really like made my. I didn't know where my life would be without it. I mean, it has carved out my entire life, and it's a really great community to be a part of. And yeah, the old and the new, and I've kind of seen both sides of it, and grown up with everybody. Like majority of at least my fan base are my age. think is the first time that anyone really has seen, a lot of people have seen their first Halloween experience. At least my generation was Halloween 4.
They introduced me to John. John grabbed my hand. He said, "Wherever I go, you go." And I said, "Well, I won't go to the boys' room with you." So anyway, we went upstairs and I met Tony Moran, who was there. And he was there to pull the mask off. Plus he had 3 days so he could get his Screen Actor Guild card because his sister was on Happy Days and she knew Deborah and that Deborah brought him in because they wanted a really young face. And Tony Moran and Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the production supervisor, he was the all-around cowboy on the show, on this low budget show. He put on the mask everywhere. And then you had Nick Castle, who was a personal friend of John. They went to school together and graduated together. And he was a good writer and a good director himself. He did The Last Starfighter. So I met these guys and we all talked. And they told me and they took me out where they were going to do the fall off the patio roof up there. And I get to do it in front of the house and not in the back of the house. And they didn't want that. They wanted it in the back of the house because of the way the situation was. So anyway, I told him I would do it for him, and we did. And fortunately, it all worked out for me. I can count my fingers. And Deborah Hill was the entourage of making that movie. She was in every scene, every day. She was there. And you have to remember, on a $300,000 film, the crew doesn't get good food. They get the little stuff that really doesn't help you. So anyway, the crew was very supportive because of working with all the people that they had. It was a small crew, not more than 22 people. And then later on, a few people came in and a few people left. But they did a tremendous job working on this film, and then when they got an editorial with Tommy Lee Wallace and Carpenter and the other gentlemen, which I can't remember his name, they did a fantastic job of editing the show. And the fortunate thing, I did the fall in one take. And I took the shot through the house, through the door, over the railing and down to the pad, and laid out there, and then we wrapped because we had a 10 o'clock curfew. And all cameras, all lighting, all vehicles, all trucks had to be off the street. And so we had to wrap real quick, and everything else was shot interior. So that was my feeling, and then I worked until 5 o'clock and went back on Warner Brothers on Police Story. Didn't think anything about it. And I have to tell you something that people are going to I only seen bits and pieces of Halloween. I've never seen the full film. Or any of the others. I don't want to because
Shut up. Yes, Alex finds hidden meaning in all things.
Because it's there.
I guess it is.
And music does play quite a significant role in Taylor's life. As I'm sure you've seen the videos of this maestro and the guitar. Unbelievable. What? It's believable. You're doing it. But just incredible.
Thank you.
A lot of depth to it. I'm a musician geek. I'm a vocal person, and I can't play a guitar to save my life. But to watch you, it's masterful.
The thing for me is like my mom is in the back, and my dad met doing a musical in Germany on tour.
Oh.
So like, yeah, music is just like
Totally in your blood.
Yeah, it's in my blood, and it's a part of my huge part of my life ever since I can remember. So yeah, music is super huge. So being able to like bring something that has to do with music into the character of Junior was very important.
And please, check out his Instagram, and because you do some live Twitch stuff for.
Oh, honestly, I don't even really do that anymore.
We don't. Sorry. Because it is cool too. It's like, oh, it's cool.
have to record something in my studio someday.
I would love to.
Yes.
That would be a good.
Invite in
Clearwater, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Collaboration, that's gonna happen, right?
Maybe.
What a cover we got to do.
Mark it down on this day at 2:10 if this happened. Question, sorry, I thought I saw someone else's. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, back there.
Okay, question. So, prior to being casted in your role, Theo, what was your knowledge of the Chucky franchise? And after essentially getting the role, or prior to, what type of research did you do for character development based on like the old films?
Well, I had actually never seen, before I got the role, I had actually never seen any of the movies. Because my mom is like, she cannot handle horror at all. So there was never any horror movies in the house at all growing up. But when I got the role, then I decided to watch all the movies, and then I became a really big fan. And I sort of got a sense of, you know, after watching all the movies and then reading some of the scripts for the first season, I sort of got a sense of, you know, like what, and obviously talking to Don, I got a sense of what he was trying to do with the show, and it greatly informed how I was going to play you. And yeah, now I'm a huge fan of Chucky, obviously.
Did Don personally pitch it to both the two of you? Or did you find out secondhand from
What?
someone?
Pitch
Did you
what
sit
in
down of
particular?
the TV series? I apologize, TV series.
Oh, well, yeah. When I made Cult, when we made Cult, we knew that was Don's intention. That was his plan. That was what he wanted to do. He saw it in 2017 as ambitious, and you know, you never know in this business. Even the best ideas are hard to actually push through the machine sometimes. But yeah, and then there was a little obstacle that came in the middle of that kind of complicated things.
He doesn't mean COVID.
COVID, although that was another one. But yeah, somehow it found its way. You know, it was supposed to, and it did. And yeah, you know, we knew that it was what he wanted to do, but we were with him and accepting that it was going to be a challenge to make it happen.
And I think you guys did a New York Comic-Con to kind of debut the idea or the concept, and I can't remember if you had started filming at that point. You did. I knew it was a huge deal.
Well, we've done it the last 3 releases. We did one for Curse, Cult, and Season 1. So yeah, I mean, by the time we did it for Cult in 2017, it was still just a great idea.
And, yes.
Okay, so I have a question. It's going to be sad in the beginning, but it'll make sense. Since Brad is getting older, does Don have an end game idea for the franchise? Like where he wants it to end? Because everything comes to an end.
Why are you killing off Brad?
Worst case scenario.
It wouldn't have an ending and he'd be gone. So what would be that case scenario?
Brad's a very spry young
Yes, he
man.
is.
He's gonna be a very-
Is there an end game idea for
There's a 4th seat that's not here, and that would be for Don, and he's the one who knows what I think maybe has a piece of your answer. But yeah, really couldn't tell you there.
Don't kill off Brad. I love him.
Either, but
He definitely didn't know.
No, he did not.
I
your mom didn't know.
I wanted to officially applaud because you guys deserve it. You guys know who they are. We got Alex Vincent. So, season 2, Chucky, and I never thought, like you said, you never thought you would either, but that Chucky would be back in a highly successful television format and unleash itself to a brand new generation of fans.
No.
That's got to be mind-blowing. That's got to be affirming and validating and
1,000,000%. I mean, it's I mean, as far as it reaching a new audience and a new generation, you know, Mateo and his cast are to thank for that, because we season 1 really kind of made everyone feel part of it, you know. And what I think is so cool about that, especially for us who've been doing conventions for so long, You know, we know the parents that were our age that saw us, you know, growing up, and now they're sharing this with their children and the next generation. Very, very cool. You know, obviously you guys are the reason why this is still going on. And Tom. Split that credit with Tom. And Brad. And Jen.
And Teo, you killed it. You absolutely killed it. Are you kidding?
I'm fully on his own too.
And I hate saying you killed it because, and I did this to you
Literally.
yesterday. You're dead, but I'm kind of hoping that you're not dead. And I'm guessing maybe a few people here are hoping, maybe, I mean, I know you guys can't say much, but can you say something at all before October 5th? Or not so much?
We all know everything.
Yeah. Say your prayers.
It's true, but in the Chucky verse, you never know what can come down the pike and what incarnation people can take. So at this point, I think Alex and I are a smaller club of people in the franchise that don't play more than one character.
So far.
Or be possessed
You
by
never
Chucky,
know.
or or a twin.
You never know.
Look at you go.
But yeah, not to mention that, you know, being killed by Chucky, that lasts forever. And not only were you killed by Chucky, but you killed with Chucky.
Killed somebody with Chucky, yeah.
Yes. I am the only person in this room.
That's true.
We don't know that's true.
Actually, yeah.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know.
Right, yeah.
You'll get nowhere from us. You can try to decipher all you want.
Well, I
It's
wanna
still gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
open it up for questions. I'm sure you guys are just, burning to ask. Please raise hands so I can see and we'll call on you. So please, right here, yes.
Hey, I got a question for Teo. I was wondering what the whole inspiration was for We Got the Beat.
Oh, okay.
That was like a or something you guys came up with?
This is actually a really good story. So before filming even started, as I was signing, my contract and like getting the role, I had a meeting with Don, and I was like, I need something behind Junior that we as the audience don't know, and maybe we'll never even know. Like, I just need something behind his eyes that, he is always there in his mind, but we won't necessarily know, so it would inform, my character and how I played the role. And we were thinking of just like a secret passion that, never really comes out. But then Don was having the idea that maybe we can bring out that secret passion a little bit. And then we were like, this idea morphed into certain things. Like, originally it was going to be like art, but then we were like, no, but that's Jake's thing. And then we thought, oh, maybe singing. But then the idea sort of died out. But then it came back again in the whole We Got the Beat thing. And then the idea is We Got the Beat is this song that I use to like pump myself up. Like if before competitions and stuff, Junior would like sing We Got the Beat to pump himself up to get ready for something, and that's how that sort of became.
Chucky got to sing it too.
Yeah.
I literally played that song by the Go-Go's to get myself.
Right, Joe.
I don't know. Come on, okay. These guys don't. This time, Ken. So the first two Romero films in the Dead series had a core group, whereas the rest of them, they expanded on the cast. What was the camaraderie like with the four of you in that setting of the mall?
It was a romp. We had a great time. It was us against the world, cowboys and Indians, that kind of thing. We played it like that, played at the Westwood. It was, there were four of us, period. as you said.
Thanks again. Appreciate it. Yep.
You know, Land of the Dead, where they had hundreds of characters, main characters. But it's the four of us against a continuous pack of undead that were trying to destroy us. And then some humans were trying to destroy us as well.
And while you were filming, did the four of you really connect?
We came to, we set every morning together in the same car, driven by Scott Ryan. It was a magical moment because we, for some reason, it was the right four, the right group, the right decade, the right film. And everything just came together. I wouldn't necessarily say that we were bosom buddies after the film, you know. But we certainly, during that film, the performances were there. And the performances from my co-stars was extraordinary to this day. So,
I love what you said about the decade because it's very interesting. Put it that way. Back in the day when we made that film, we could go at it and we could be grisly to each other and come up with amazing stuff that today people would be like, you're just being mean. and it was okay.
And we, I mean, you know, it's something to come to a mall after we finish the outside with the projects and the trucks and everything with the other season. We come every night to a mall and to work until sunup every day with 3 other individuals. And every scene was about our survival, preparation for survival, the things that were happening between the 4 of us. She was pregnant. David was tired of being treated like his whip. Scott was in there. And a lot of machines. So there was a connection there was a camaraderie, and we used that, I guess, in the film as we shot. Every scene was the 4 of us trying to make it right. We were trying to do this as authentically as we could to invest in those characters, invest in that situation. And how it affects us, what we would do, what we did. And we came off, it worked. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, a question about